Well, as you can see, we're having fun. You thought you'd never have to put up with another finishing show, but unfortunately you do. What we're doing right now is
any other show would have a prop guy that would have all this stuff ready.
But this is for low budget. Low budget? This is a high quality show. Actually, what we're talking about tonight is something that is really brand new. That kind of the guru of finish, Danny Holmrich, has come up with a new compound for doing solid surface. What I'm doing right now is sanding a piece of material that has come straight from the manufacturer, and I'm just sanding it with some 60-micron paper. Now, what Danny claims is that he has a compound that will allow us to go straight from 60 micron, which is about a 240 grit, right. I believe, about 240 grit value, to go straight from this to a finish. Now, most of you guys that finish solid surface know that if you want to get a really good matte satin finish, you've got to go 220. You should go 400 and then pull it back down with Scotch-Brite. Now, I know a lot of people...
We need fresh water, right? You can't use this.
Go ahead and drink that. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, you can use that. That's
can we use that? That's okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It's multifunctional.
Okay.
But some guys will take and they'll go from 220 straight to maroon. But in most cases, they're really laying down a finish that's going to deteriorate rapidly for the homeowner. Right. Really within about 3 to 4 weeks. They may or may not get a call back, but the customer's going to start having an uneven finish to their countertop.
Right.
And the number one complaint that every manufacturer receives in the solid surface industry is finish.
Absolutely.
And that's something that is totally in the hands of the fabricator.
Right. Or us in this case.
Yes, or us in this case. But what Danny has said is this allows you to go straight from a 60 micron paper immediately into the buff mode, which is what some guys try to do.
You're going to sand your top down, whatever you normally do to get it down to 60 micron.
That is correct.
Take your scratches out and what have you, which we haven't gotten all of them out. But now, do you have to wipe this off first?
Yeah, we're going to clean it off.
Okay.
Now, before we do that, I want to show everybody, this is the leaky bottle that Danny sent me. So you can see it running down the side. But this is actually the first bottle produced, I believe.
Is it?
Yes, and you can see
you saw it here first, folks.
Danny's design, solid surface, perfect finish.
Right.
And right on the front of it, he's got a globe with some kind of a fowl on it, and it says 100% green product. Now, he makes it with 3 different finishes.
Right. Now, first we got to tell you about this bird. This is, what's this bird's name?
This bird is Liko.
Liko. Okay, now, I got to tell you something. Danny's wife, Young Ung, wonderful woman.
A young one?
Young Ung is her name. And I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I know she's watching tonight. But Young Ung is from Korea. Mm-hmm. And as you know, most people from Korea can't pronounce R's.
But why did they have a country that they named Korea with an R in it?
I don't know. But anyway, all right, Danny got this bird from somewhere. I don't know where. He ended up with this bird. And the bird's name was?
Rico.
Rico.
Good
But
Hispanic
his wife can't say Rico, so she says Liko. So Danny, rather than calling the bird something else, he just calls the bird Liko. So, not to make fun of Young Un, but we just wanted you to know that this is Liko.
Really Rico, but he's gone through a name change.
That's right.
So Danny has Liko, his little parakeet, on the front of his bottle.
And this is a green product. That's what he's trying to identify, the fact that it's green.
Correct, yeah. This is...
It's actually pink, but it's a green.
Yeah, green meaning that it's really environmentally friendly.
Right.
You could take, and matter of fact, if John wanted to, I could open this up and he could drink it. And it probably wouldn't kill him, unfortunately.
Okay. Do I need to spray this down?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and clean this off. What we've done is let me grab a rag over here. We got rid of all our rags earlier.
This doesn't take as long to do as it's taking here because we're talking so much.
Yeah, we just yak around. Okay, that's probably good. Okay, we're taking, and once again, in the high humidity of Florida, this is not an easy task.
Right.
But what we've done, and I'm hoping the camera can see it, is all I've done is taken this top here, and I've sanded it with the 60 micron. Yeah, it's dried out really well. That should do the trick. Now, what you can see, and once again, this is how it comes. Material comes like this from the manufacturer. It's got like scratch there. It had some over here, but you can see the scratch. You can see the scratch fades out to nothing. This scratch was originally that long. So I've sanded it well enough to get rid of that scratch, and you can see now as it dries out, that's the typical haze that a countertop will leave behind at 220 or 60 micron. And this is a dark color. Dark colors are by far the most problematic for every fabricator.
Now, a lot of fabricators at this point will go right to a maroon Scotch Brite.
Except with a dark color. And that's one of the reasons why we've chosen this, is because a dark color usually requires a lot more effort to finish.
Okay.
Now, Danny's product actually speeds it up substantially.
Now, we're using a 5-inch scuff and buff.
A 5-inch scuff and buff. And whoops, wrong stuff.
Right.
But we will need some water with this, so we'll go ahead and we'll use that. But we'll take and we'll just dribble a little bit of this on here.
How much water do you want on here, Ken?
Just to give it a good misting. Now, what this does that makes it work so well is...
is that enough, Danny?
Yeah, don't douse it, we're good, is that the cutting agent that is inside of this is extremely hard.
This is gritty.
Yes, it doesn't look like, it looks like Pepto-Bismol gone bad.
Does. Yeah.
But the cutting agent that's inside of here will actually get caught up in the fibers of this pad.
Okay. And this is a formulation that Danny's come up with.
Correct.
This is not something you're going to buy off the shelf. It's not.
No, you definitely cannot get it off the shelf. This is wholly Danny. So we'll sand this just like we would.
Now, would you use this in someone's home for refinishing the top, like to bring it back up to another luster?
Well, once again, you would need to do the whole top with it.
Well, certainly, right.
But yeah, you could certainly use it for that. Could you give me a little bit more down here? Now the most...
This is a two-man operation.
Well, yeah, if you're working with somebody such as yourself. And I don't know why I'm trusting you to operate that little squirt gun.
Now you're using a random orbit mode, not a grinder mode.
Correct. No, you definitely would not want to use this in a grinder mode right now.
And there's no vacuum attached, obviously.
No.
Because you don't want to suck anything up into the sander. And you're using a standard back and forth, forward, backward, and diagonal motion to finish it out.
Correct. And the nice thing about this technique that he's come up with is it is great using it with a Scotch Brite pad, because you can see it holds the compound really well.
Right.
It also holds the moisture. So we're really not wetting this as much as we might typically. You want to get a couple clean rags. And I'm going to run this once again vertically.
Danny would probably say you don't need to do that much.
Well, you know, I'd rather make sure it comes out well than...
Now, we can do the same thing with the Tetrad.
Yes.
And it would be about 70% faster.
Oh, huge difference.
Okay.
One of the things I discussed with one customer the other day, and I also mentioned it to Danny because I know Danny's had a lot of interest in this product, is that really... yeah, wait till you get that all. Yeah, we'll get this all cleaned off with one, and then we'll wipe it. We'll wipe it down with the other, because we don't want to contaminate both rags with the grit.
Should we be wetting this down so we're not making scratches?
We'll do it the second time. I don't think you'll harm it.
Keep the compound wet, Danny.
We did.
says.
It's wet.
Okay.
It's wet. You're just way oversensitive, Danny. I wish your mother had named you Randy, then we could call you Lanny.
Lanny?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with something, Landy or something. I don't know. Okay. In other words, we'd knock the R out of it, replace it with an L sound.
Now, what if you wanted to go to a shinier finish than this?
Now, this one here, this particular one is a fine satin finish. Danny's also got a one that provides a higher satin, and then also a coarser. And as you can see now, and this is a dark color. This is the thing that I think is really, I don't want to say amazing about the product, but it's really cool. And we're going to bring the large machine over a second, and we're going to run it over here so you can see that. But
we can have time to do that?
Oh,
we
yeah.
got about 4 minutes.
Well, we'll try to get it. But you can see this finish here, even though it's dark material,
Right.
that looks extremely good. There's a lot of color coming out of it. And usually with a dark material, you are really forced into going to higher glosses because it's hard to get it to look even.
Right.
This is a dark color, and if you take and get down and look at it at low angle reflected light, look how consistent it is. That's the big
you can
thing.
Look at the monitor in there.
Yeah, it is very consistent. So it's not that the product delivers more shine, but what it does deliver is extremely uniform finish in just a two-step process.
And it takes out the highs and lows, so you don't have that appearance that it's high and low, obviously.
Well, that's the benefit of going to the softer pads. In this case, you know, here's a maroon scuff and buff, and here's a gray. The benefit to these is because of their thickness. It's not like a cutting sandpaper where it's milling the surface.
Right.
The
This is
problem
strictly a
with highs
finishing
and
method.
lows. Yeah.
Right.
Problem with highs and lows in sandpaper is until it mills a high spot off, you're never going to get into the low.
Right.
The benefit to this process is this is a cutting compound, although it's very fine, so it has a polishing effect, used with, in essence, a foam pad, which will let it ride up and down over the low spots. By doing that, you get a finish that looks like this. I'll tell you, it's been a very long time, and we'll hold this up for the camera. I don't know if that's going to help them or not, if you want to grab that corner. But for a piece of dark-colored solid surface to look that good,
In
and
2 steps.
really, yeah, having just
Right.
gone beyond a matte finish.
Yeah.
You know, basically 60 micron or 240 grit, and then right to a buff, and it looks that good, that consistent. That is phenomenal. Now, one of the other things that's really cool about this material is we could take something like a piece of paper, and let's say we took this, and right in the middle of our countertop.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Well, let's say our customer. Boy, we've got to really make this quick.
Yep.
Let's say our customer had a stoneware
Yep. Plate.
or something. They went like that, and they would say, "Oh gosh, look at the scratches we put in the top." The great thing about Danny's
I would just
system,
leave the plate there.
Yeah, well, I know you would. You'd have to.
You going to put some of that on it, or?
Well, I think we still got plenty in the pad.
Okay. We got enough in the pad, Danny?
But look at that. See how it comes right up? Now, if you just watch, this is the thing I thought was really cool about this stuff. When you sand something, and then you go right back and finish it, the biggest problem you have is developing
Wipe it off.
a finish that's consistent the second time around. Go ahead and wipe that off. And
Look at that.
I'll take this and we'll hit it with a
Gosh, look at that. It's right back to what it was.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about it is there was scarred material right there. And you can see I took and I just used just the compound, and now that's a piece of 320 grit sandpaper. It's not a horrible scratch. No, that was 320 grit sandpaper that I scratched this one.
Oh, okay, all right. Got it.
Okay, so
And it's totally
you can
gone.
see, the compound.
Totally
and if
gone.
you look at it in a low angle reflected light, there is absolutely no hint that I did that.
Wow.
And I pushed down fairly hard there, and I gave it a good scratch, and it came out that easily, that quickly. So,
Okay, so accept no imitations. Make sure that Lico is on the front of the bottle, and it says Danny Designs on the top.
all right. So if it doesn't have Lico, you haven't got.
That's right.
You haven't got the
Absolutely.
polish.
This is going to be a great product. Danny, congratulations. This is a winner. There's no
And once
doubt
again,
about it.
it's available in the satin fine, the satin super fine, I guess, and the matte.
That's right. And I think you better clean out your shop because your ship has come in.
Is it a big ship or a little ship?
It's probably a big ship. This is a great idea.
All right, so anyway, once again, we had more stuff than we could possibly do in 1 week.
Absolutely. We probably ought to go back to an every week show, but
I'm going to, next show, watch, we're going to have a cooler of iced, I don't know, something dumped on you. But, no, really, we're looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. We have a phenomenal show coming up.
yes.
Should we tell them what it's about?
Go ahead.
It's going to have the Fine Multimaster on it.
Oh, are we doing that one next?
Yeah.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's the new one that they're showing
That's
at
it.
AWFS.
The brand new one. We saw that in Germany before it ever came over to this country.
That's right.
And that thing is wild.
And you will see it here first again.
That's right, because that's the kind of guys we are.
All right.
That said, remember, everything you saw in tonight's show is 10% off.
And it's entirely our opinion.
That's right. And it is, once again, 100% green product.
All right, great. Good night, folks. Thanks for showing.
Bye. He probably shut us off 5 minutes ago.